Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today NEXM, the mining company, just filed an 8K providing an update on their Selkirk project in Botswana, and I am seeing a clear communication strategy at play. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The company is telling us about good metallurgical results, but they are also very careful about how they present mineral resources. So this is a current report, essentially a notification to the public and the SESI about significant events. In this case, NexMetals Mining Corp is using it to share news about their ongoing work at the Selkirk project. They are talking about metallurgical work, which is basically the process of extracting valuable metals from ore. The news release attached to this filing, which is the main event here, highlights positive developments at their project in Botswana. According to the news release, NexMetals has achieved 2 saleable concentrates from this work. This is a pretty big deal for a mining company because it means they are getting closer to actually being able to sell what they mine. Think of it like this, they have found a way to make their ore valuable enough to sell to other companies. The report is dated the 27th of April 2026, which is the same day they issued the press release. This timing suggests they wanted to get this positive news out to investors quickly. This is just standard legal language indicating that they are following the rules for public companies. This section tells us about the company's stock. It is registered on the Nasdaq capital market under the ticker symbol NEXM. The fact that it is listed on Nasdaq means it has to meet certain standards, which is generally good for investor confidence. This is where they are filing the press release itself. Regulation FD, or Fair Disclosure, means that when a company makes material, non-public information available, they have to make it available to everyone at the same time. They do this by filing press releases like this one. This is the core of the filing. The company is saying, hey, here is some important news about our project. And that news is about progress in their metallurgical studies. Now, this part is super important, and it's where companies like NexMetals often tread carefully. They are talking about mineral resources. This isn't the same as proven reserves. Mineral resources are estimates of what might be there and what could be mined. Mineral reserves are what they are more certain about being able to extract profitably. They mention NI 43 to 101, which is a Canadian rule for disclosing technical information about mineral projects. They follow this because they are a Canadian company. The filing also talks about new CC rules, called SK 1300, which are designed to be more in line with international standards like NI 43 to 101. Even though these new rules are more similar, the company points out there can still be differences between how they classify resources under Canadian rules versus US rules. This is a crucial disclaimer. They are basically saying, don't assume that the indicated or inferred resources we tell you about under Canadian rules will be seen the same way by US regulators, or that they are guaranteed to be mineable. This is a common practice to manage expectations and avoid liability. They want to be clear that inferred resources are the least certain category. This is a direct warning to investors. It is telling you not to get too excited about these resource numbers because they might never become actual profitable reserves. Mineralization that is just an inferred resource carries a lot of uncertainty. This is another important legal point. By saying the information is furnished and not filed, they are saying this information is for your awareness, but it doesn't carry the same legal weight as if it were formally filed under certain sections of securities laws. This limits their legal liability regarding the accuracy of the furnished information. This section just lists the exhibits included with the filing. This confirms that the press release we discussed is indeed Exhibit 99.1. This refers to the standardized data file that makes the filing easily searchable by computers. And finally, the signatures. This is where the company's authorized officers sign off confirming the accuracy of the filing. Brett Mackay, the Chief Financial Officer, has signed on behalf of NexMetals Mining Corp. This shows that management is aware of this filing and has approved it. So what is the story here? NexMetals is reporting good news about their metallurgical work, suggesting they are making progress in getting valuable metals out of their ore. This is definitely positive movement for a mining company. However, they are being very careful to distinguish these mineral resources from mineral reserves and to warn investors not to assume these resources will ever be profitable or even mineable. This is a smart move to protect themselves legally, but it also means investors should temper their expectations. The market often reacts positively to news of saleable concentrates, but the cautionary language is a major aspect to watch. The company has a market cap of around $84 million, and this kind of news could certainly move the stock. The key takeaway is that while the technical progress at the Selkirk project sounds promising, investors need to understand the significant difference between identified resources and economically viable reserves. The company is doing what it must to disclose progress while managing legal risks, but that means the investor has to do their homework to interpret what this technically means for future profitability. That is my take. Stay decoded if you found this deep dive helpful. A quick like and subscribe really helps us keep these videos coming. You can also join our growing community on Discord, links are in the description.